As you already know, the UK left the EU political structures and the European Parliament on January 31st in 2020 already. And now some Brexiteers blame the government for not implementing Brexit properly, and others want the UK to join the EU again. But the EU, of course, moved forward after Brexit, and so in the next weeks I will make a test here on the channel by bringing news about the current developments in the EU in one of my daily videos. That's supposed to keep people informed what the UK has left there and what people want to return to, so they can make informed decisions and give it a more fact-based approach. And since my magazine channel is reserved for information on the development of the Russian war of aggression against Ukraine for the time being, you're welcome there if you haven't watched it yet, it's another reason to do it on this channel here. But I anyway believe that exactly my audience on this channel, and yes, I mean you, needs this kind of information, and that's why I'm putting it here as well. But now, let's talk about today's topic. In 2022, the European Union, through the Facility for Refugees in Turkey, continued to support refugees and host communities in Turkey. As the 7th annual report of the facility recently published concludes, important progress has been made in key areas such as basic needs, education, health, socioeconomic support, municipal infrastructure, and strengthening border management in close cooperation with the Turkish authorities. Turkey is not part of the EU, by the way, for those who don't know. Since 2011, the EU has directed close to 10 billion euros to assist refugees and host communities in Turkey. It has disbursed over 5 billion since 2016 under the Facility for Refugees in Turkey, whilst 2.2 billion from the additional 3 billion allocated until 23 have already been committed. The remaining will be programmed in 23 and will also address the consequences of the devastating earthquakes of February 2023. The report showcases significant achievements since the establishment of the facility in certain priority areas. First, we have basic needs. More than 2.6 million refugees have received direct support through a program delivering monthly cash assistance via a debit card system. The Ministry of Family and Social Services also provides monthly financial support to the most vulnerable refugees under a program similar to the Turkish social security system. And then, as one priority, we have education. Over 747,000 Syrian children were enrolled in formal education by March 22, and more than 800,000 children have benefited from an EU program which supports school enrollment and attendance of refugee children. To date, over 12,000 educational facilities have been upgraded, and a total of 117 schools were constructed. And then we have health. 2 hospitals and 187 migrant health centers are operational, and around 4,000 healthcare personnel are working in EU-supported facilities. Then we have municipal infrastructure. The facility is financing 36 water, wastewater and solid waste facilities and 26 facilities for youth and sports. The construction of a mechanical biological waste treatment facility in Gaziantep was completed in October 21. And then we have vocational training. Grants to entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship training are provided to both Syrian refugee and host community startups and existing entrepreneurs. More than 26,000 women have successfully completed short-term vocational skill training, while around 40,000 women have benefited from employment counseling services. Around 25,000 adult refugee women have completed Turkish language courses successfully. And then we have border management. The facility has funded 2 projects for a total of 80 million euros to strengthen the search and rescue capacity of the Turkish Coast Guard and the management of returns from the EU. Both projects have been completed. More than 2.83 billion euros has been allocated to basic needs and socioeconomic support under the facility, aiming to strengthen refugee resilience and self-reliance and allowing for a gradual transition from dependence on social assistance to increased self-reliance and livelihood opportunities. In this context, more than 2.6 million refugees have received direct support, as I said, mostly through the emergency social safety net a humanitarian social assistance program delivering monthly cash assistance via this mentioned debit card. Overall, the facility has allocated more than 1.5 billion euros to the priority area of education, including 545 million for educational infrastructure and more than 181 million in humanitarian assistance, whilst 800 million were allocated to health, notably through the SIHHAT project, which supports the Turkish Ministry of Health in its efforts to provide free and equitable access to healthcare to refugees. In the area of municipal infrastructure, 380 million euros were allocated under the facility. A variety of municipalities have been supported with the provision of essential municipal services, including water supply and sanitation and solid waste management, as well as youth and sports facilities. In the area of border management, under the additional 3 billion euro for 2021 and 23, the EU has allocated 30 million euros to enhance migration management and border control, and 220 million euros have been committed in 2022 to help Turkey address the increased migratory pressure in its eastern borders through the provision of equipment, technical assistance, and training. Turkey continues to make very significant efforts in hosting and addressing the needs of more than 3.6 million refugees. That's the highest number in the world. Total EU assistance allocated to refugees in Turkey since 2011 amounts to close to 10 billion euros. This includes 345 million in refugee assistance mobilized between 11 and 16, 6 billion under the facility between 16 and 19, 535 million in humanitarian bridge funding in 2020, and 3 billion in additional funding in 21 to 23. By December 31st in 2020, the Commission had contracted the full operational envelope of the facility, which has been established in 2016. Out of a total 6 billion, 5 billion have been disbursed by the end of 2022 from this facility alone. From the additional 3 billion from the EU budget, 2.2 billion have been committed to date in the areas of basic needs and socioeconomic support, education, border management, as well as protection. The remaining 630 million is being programmed in this year, as I mentioned earlier in this video. So that is just another topic that is still important for the EU, and you see how long this work is going on already. And if you look at the numbers carefully, you will know that this started long before the 2015-2016 refugee crisis. And if you want to see something else right now, the next video is right here in the end screen, together with your chance to subscribe to this channel or to visit my newest channel, which is a totally different topic, but really fun for me to make and to see how well it's doing for a baby channel. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.